Vols desk.
It is an absolutely loaded day of college basketball all across the nation, especially in our region. UTC men and women in action, every SEC team in action, and perhaps the biggest game of the day was in Knoxville, Tennessee, where the Vols welcoming the last team to beat them in this very gym, the Kentucky Wildcats. It's been 50 weeks since Tennessee last fell at the Food City Center. Boy, they were showing why in this first half. Big buckets from outside, rack attacks inside. This place was going wild as Dwayne Brown drops the hammer on the Wildcats. It's all Vols. They lead it by 16 at home, but boy, Kentucky, they flipped the switch in the second half. Shots that weren't falling for most of the first began to fall in the second. Maybe some help from the rim there as we found ourselves in an incredibly entertaining back and forth final 10 minutes, and one lay-in from Amari Evans puts Tennessee up 7, but Kentucky hung around and got within 1 with 30 seconds to go, and Kentucky gets a steal, and in transition they get the bucket of the foul as the Wildcats have their first lead of the game. One final chance for Tennessee, trying to get the board off the missed free throw, but they just can't find a look as the Vols, despite being up 17, despite controlling this entire game, are stunned by Kentucky 80-78 on their home floor as Tennessee falls to 2-3 in the SEC. A top 25 matchup in Athens. The 21st ranked Georgia Bulldogs hoping to avenge a loss at the buzzer to Ole Miss this week, taking on number 17 Arkansas, and boy did things start fast for the red and black. Cannon catchings, two-hand slam in an instant. It's 9-0 Dogs, and I mean goodness, everything was working for Georgia in the early portion of this game. Bulldogs making a date with top 20 Arkansas. Looked like a bye game, but of course it is not a bye game, and Arkansas is in the top 20 and at the top of the SEC for a reason, but Georgia is still up by 18 in the second half when the Razorbacks began to surge. And boy, these games in college basketball, they are just never over. Arkansas turned it up on defense, and it led to easy offense as they were working in transition and hit some big-time threes as all of a sudden this game is tied with under 7 to play, but then the Dogs woke back up and brought this game back to where it started. Blue Cane with some beautiful lay-ins as Georgia dominates the first 7 minutes, and they dominate the last 7 minutes, pulling away from Arkansas for a huge win, 90-76. After the Chattanooga Mocs lost their first 3 SoCon games, there were plenty of doubts about this year's squad, but 2 straight wins later, the Mocs now have a chance to get themselves even at 500 in the conference as they were out east at Western Carolina taking on the Catamounts. And boy, WCU, they came to play, doing whatever they wanted in the opening minutes of this one. Just 10 minutes in, Western Carolina already leads it by 15, but when the Mocs need a bucket, number 5 is your guy. Jordan Friesen knocks it down from the corner. UTC within 10. Final seconds of the first half, and how pretty is this from Billy? Good-looking lay-in just before the buzzer. Billy Smith, as the Mocs outscore the Cats 17-6 in the final 5 minutes to cut the deficit to just 5, and Chattanooga carried that momentum into half 2. Josh Bowman says no. Now in transition, Teddy Washington to Friesen, back to Washington, super sweet passing. UTC has tied it. 6 minutes to go. Mocs now up 2, and Jordan Friesen, tough bucket over the defender to extend the lead. Fast forward to the final minute. UTC leads by 3, and how about the big fella? Oh yeah, the bank is open for Colin Mulholland as that is the dagger for the Chattanooga Mocs as they win a 3rd game in a row, and congrats to Dan Earl, who has won his 150th career game as a head coach. UTC on the road gets a huge SoCon win, 90-82. And the Mocs women, they too are absolutely scorching of late. This is now a 7th straight win for UTC as they stay unbeaten in SoCon play with a big road win at ETSU today. Boy, after a bit of a slow start, the team from McKenzie Arena really starting to click as the season rolls on. You just love to see it. And folks, we have breaking news from the National Football League because the Atlanta Falcons have their head coach, former Browns head coach, fired by Cleveland earlier this month. Kevin Stefanski has been hired to be the new leader of the Atlanta Falcons. Folks, don't be fooled by the fact that Stefanski was just fired. This is a terrific hire for new president of football, Matt Ryan, and the Falcons brass. A 2 two-time Coach of the Year in Cleveland. He led the Browns to 11 wins and the playoffs in 2023 with Joe Flacco at quarterback, and he should do wonders with Atlanta's talented roster. The Falcons will also reportedly be keeping their defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich in place as the DC as a new era of Falcons football shall commence. I'm telling you, folks, this is a really strong hire. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. They're looking for a head coach. Stefanski is the guy that I wanted. Don't go away. More news and weather is next.